We got the official news about you staying with the team for the rest of the season today. What was your reaction to signing that contract, and how excited are you for the rest of this stretch?
I'm really excited to be with the guys. Obviously I've only been here a few weeks, but really come to have great relationships with a lot of guys on this team, and looking forward to making this run.
What do you think the ceiling for this team is? You've played on a lot of good teams, so what do you think that this team could do ultimately?
There is no ceiling, honestly. Whenever you have arguably the best player in the world at the moment, and a lot of people around him that are really good basketball players, I mean, it's anything's possible. So I think that as long as we stay healthy, we can compete with anybody.
Awesome. Thank you, Anthony, and congrats.
Thanks.
Jason Blevins.
Hey, Anthony, welcome to Philadelphia. So you've been in the league quite some time. You've seen this Sixers team develop. What have you learned that maybe surprised you when you got into the locker room versus the impression you had from the outside?
The camaraderie actually has been, really, really, really good. From the outside looking in, it's really hard to tell. Kind of with any team, it's not like something. I mean, I guess some teams you can look at on the court and maybe assume that they're really close, and all that stuff. But this team, I had no clue. But I mean, it's a bunch of guys that are, really, really out there playing for each other, and it's fun to be around. It's fun to be around a group of guys who are really out here just trying to win games and trying to do something special.
Thank you.
Keith Pompey.
What's up, Anthony? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm well. You said something when you signed your initial 10-day. It kind of stood out to me. You said my role with this team is, I can help them out on the court, but a bigger role is with the younger guys, like the low minute group. And when you said that, I kind of figured you were going to stick around, with those guys. Can you just talk about how that's been, working with these young guys? And I remember when you guys were in Milwaukee, Doc mentioned that he walked in the locker room and 4 of those guys were around you and you were telling war stories. Can you just, talk about your role and as far as their development moving forward?
Yeah. I mean, the last probably 3 or 4 years I've been playing, that's really become a really big focus of mine, has been just trying to pour into, this next generation of guys, guys who are currently in situations that I've been through, especially being undrafted, someone who's had to fight, scratch and claw for every single second that I've gotten on the court. I have a much different perspective that I can lend to guys that are in these positions. It's not an easy position to be in. I still say this, and I stand by this. I really truly believe that positions, between that 9 to 12 or 13 on a team is probably the hardest job in sports. And I say that because you don't know on a nightly basis whether or not you're going to play. You don't know on a nightly basis whether or not you're going to get any shots or opportunities. But guess what? You're still expected to work just as hard or harder than everybody else. You could, bust your tail in the morning, get your workout in, and then all of a sudden coach puts you in for 20 minutes. It's hard, and it's hard physically, yes, but it's really hard mentally because it's, sometimes, hey, if you get 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 12 DMPs in a row, now you're like, whoa, am I ever going to play? Right. Like, so it's just a hard position to be in. And so coming from somebody that's been through that pretty much every year of my career, where I've had, certain, periods in every single season I've been in the NBA where I wasn't sure if I was going to play. And if I did, I didn't know how much. So just helping these guys, these young guys, navigate through all that, has been something I've taken pride in these last, like 2 or 3 years, especially, but, especially coming into this team who's already established, who's already, an elite team. I just know that I have a perspective and something I can bring to the table that, some of these other guys can't.
Mhm. Have they been very receptive to you? Because, there's sometimes when a new veteran comes in and they'll say, look, dude, man, this is the new era. Like, what you did was different from what we're doing. Have they been really receptive to your advice and to your talking?
Absolutely. I mean, I give credit to, especially the young guys, the low minute crew. They're an amazing group of guys. They remind me of me in the fact that they just don't take time off. Like, they just work. And that's how I got to be where I'm at for 12, 13, 14 years is I've just been a worker. And I'm, the oldest guy on the team now, I believe. Yeah. But I'm still out here every day. It just takes a little bit more recovery for me now than it used to. But, other than that, that's just what I know. And, it's just refreshing to see a group of young guys who are on the, cut from the same cloth. Every single one of these guys are in here every day, working their tails off, preparing for the moment. And I tell these guys all the time, I said, that's what it's all about. If you're not willing to put in the work whenever, you're not getting any playing time, whenever your time comes, you're not going to be prepared. So these guys are preparing themselves really well, and it's fun to watch.
All right. Thank you, man.
Yep.
All right, we have time for two quick ones. First, we'll go to Noah Levick.
Hey, Anthony. I wanted to ask you specifically about Tyrese Maxey. We've seen you before games, working out at the same time with him, watching film with him, all that. Just what are your overall impressions of him, and what is he like off the floor?
He's a heck of a player. He's going to be a special kid in this league, special player in this league, for a long time. Crazy speed, crazy athleticism, something you can't teach. And, just the nuances of the game as he gets better at those, that's going to be his determining factor, kind of how high and how wide can his greatness spread. And, as he learns this game and as he learns how to, create for other people and do those things, I mean, the sky's the limit for him. He has unbelievable potential, great kid, great personality, hard worker. And, you have those things and you add in, some, the ability to go out and learn, and not just the ability to learn, but actually the know-how, the wanting to learn, those next phases. He could easily just say, you know what, I'm really good at scoring. That's what I'm going to do. All right. And he could make a great career from just being a great scorer. But, if he really wants to meet his highest potential, which I think he does, I think that he's going to continue to listen and learn about how to become a phenomenal point guard.
And lastly, we'll go to Austin Crow.
Hey, Anthony. So this team, in the last couple of years hasn't been able to get over the hump to get to the conference finals. And I'm curious, as a free agent, whether it be in the off season or in season, if they were to get to that conference finals this year, how much of an asset is that in their pockets to be able to turn to free agents to say, hey, we got this far last year. We want to, we need you to help us get to the next level. How much of a role does that play?
I mean, winning always helps, right? I don't care what market you're in. I don't care what your situation is. If you're a winning organization and you win at a high level, that's always going to help your cause. And so, of course, guys want to be, in winning situations, right? Plain and simple, especially big time free agents and guys that, want to create, long-term legacy. That's how you do it. You don't create long-term legacy by just having great individual stats. I mean, some of the best stat people ever in the league are forgotten if they don't win anything, right? So it's about a combination of, doing your thing, but also winning. And if you can do that, it helps. So, of course, I mean, if we go make a run, conference finals, obviously the ultimate prize, that helps the cause to get, any free agents in the future.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Anthony.